What if you could walk into your Panama condo and it looked like it came straight out of a luxury travel magazine without breaking the bank? Today on The Real Expats, we're talking with the woman who makes that magic happen every week. She's transformed hundreds of apartments in record time using her signature Get It Rental Ready design strategy. Whether you're furnishing your first Panama home, refreshing a rental, or just craving that breezy island vibe, Amanda Gleeson is about to spill her secrets. Welcome to the Panama Podcast, from dreaming to doing. I'm your host, Melissa Darnay. If you want insider tips on living, investing, and having a blast in Panama, go to choosepanama.com and snag your free copy of Panama Uncorked. Joining me is my co-host, Stacey Jenks, a vacation property management expert. Together, we are going to dig all the gold out of Amanda Gleeson, our very own turnkey decorator.
This should be fun.
You don't know what you're going to get out.
And she's made a name for herself in Panama for creating high-impact designs on real-world budgets.
Love a bargain.
She has a system for getting it done quickly, beautifully, and without the sticker shock that often comes with imported furniture. In fact, she's probably the busiest decorator in Panama. If you've ever wanted to get into the mind of a decorating genius, join us as we explore one of my favorite topics, turning an empty apartment into a tropical dream home. Ladies, welcome back to another episode of The Real Expats. Cheers!
Cheers!
Amanda, you've become known for your turnkey design formula.
Yes.
Can you walk us through what it means and how it saves both time and money?
The thing about a lot of people that move to Panama is that they buy an empty property, and whether they're here to move in on their own or to invest, they get really overwhelmed by the thought of, I don't live here. I don't know where to go. I don't speak the language. How long is this going to take? Am I going to get ripped off? What do things actually cost here? So when I first moved to Panama about 10 years ago, I realized this actually was a service that people needed here.
Well, a big question for me too was, what can I get here?
Yeah.
And where to go, what can I get? But the other reality is decorating is not most people's core competence. So there's a lot of people who can buy a condo, but there's not a lot of people who know how to decorate it to really get the most money out of something like rentals.
Yeah. And
it's a skill.
And there's also when you just think, oh, it's a sofa and a bed and a couple of pieces of furniture, but there's actually hundreds of decisions that go into furnishing an apartment from scratch. And here I also do the appliances, the lighting, the air conditioning, because most new apartments don't even come with that. So I'm literally starting with a shell and then give me a couple of months and it's a place that someone can walk into fully furnished, everything they need to
and feel
come
homey.
and live. Yeah.
And I've seen when owners do it themselves, there'll be wires in the middle of a ceiling and they'll put, I hate to say it, there's no other word that I know, it's a boob light. And they'll put
a builder's boob.
A builder's boob light right there.
Yeah.
And that does not give you enough light to work with. You need layers of lighting.
I'll tell you what my most hated phrase is that I hear.
Oh, tell us.
It's just a rental. You don't need to do that. And here's the thing. I understand that with rentals, part of why I do, especially for new builds, I put furniture packages together because people do want to know how much they're going to spend. But on the other hand, you do need to invest some money in this property to make it comfortable and attractive, because what happens is that people now rent a property with their eyes. They're looking online and they're buying into that dream vacation.
True.
Yeah.
So if you've gotten someone and you can tell the people who have spent as little money as possible.
Yes.
And it shows because the furniture looks uncomfortable, uncoordinated. It's bare. It has no personality. You go to stay. It's a bedroom, an apartment that has 2 bedrooms, sleeps 4 people, and there's 4 knives, 4 forks, 2 wine glasses.
Well, they can take turns.
Yeah. So
And the bed's uncomfortable.
it's the cheapest, most rock hard mattress.
Right.
So there's over time, like working with property managers and just through, I tried to do a count and it's over 100. It probably could be even over 150 by now. Apartments that are not just for people to live in, but to rent out. I've built up a pretty good inventory list of where to spend the money to get the most bang for the buck. There's certain areas that I'm like, you do not need to spend that money on. Yes, well, okay, look, it is a rental property. This is overcapitalizing on something that's not going to give you a return. But there's certain things that a small investment for something, it doesn't have to be the most expensive item, but something a little bit above the basic is going to go a long way, like a mattress.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Things that people sit on, I often find.
Right.
Yeah.
I also think as people, when we purchase something, we want to design it how we like it. You know, I might like to have a gorilla statue in the middle of my dining room
And
table.
if you want a gorilla statue
Or floral wallpaper.
or floral wallpaper, and that's what you want, I will find that for you and I will make that happen, because at the end of the day, it is my client's property, and I can come in and give my advice that, look, maybe for a rental, you might want
not want to
something
have that.
a little bit more broadly appealing, because maybe not everyone would love a gorilla statue or floral wallpaper. But if that's what a client wants, I'm going to deliver that for them. But if I'm left to sort of design on my own, my designs do, for the Airbnbs particularly, they are a little bit more neutral. They're not bland. No two are ever the same.
And I love that about you because, having done over 100 apartments, it's hard to have no two be the same. But that's what makes them.
I have to tell
It's
you.
hard, but it's also, I get to scratch that itch whenever I see a new trend or something that I go, oh, I love that. Who's going to get that? So it kind of, works both ways. I go, I love that design trend. When the next property comes up that's right, I'm going to see if the owner's down to go with that kind of style.
I have to tell you this, and I haven't even told you this yet in person.
Okay.
We have a repeat renters coming, and they come here every year, and the apartment that they usually get, you decorated.
Okay.
It's not available, so they were very, very sad.
Okay.
I showed them another one that you decorated.
Which one is it?
I'm not going to tell you.
Come on.
But I showed them another one, and they were like, it looks different, but it feels the same. It calls to us. It's beachy and homey, and I'm like, it's the same decorator. It's Amanda.
I've had people say, I walked in and I knew that it was one of yours, but I would get bored doing like wash, rinse, repeat the same thing over
but
and over
it's
again.
not the same. But the clean lines, they can tell.
Yeah. Look, the basics for Airbnb decor is modern, location appropriate, whether if it's a beach location, you want to reflect that. You're not going to have like a super modern, urban, bling bling apartment.
And you're also
at
not going to
beach.
have that really heavy, dark.
Yeah.
Like something that looks like it belongs in the woods.
Yeah, that the Wengay furniture trend is long had its day, like cold grays, they're on their way out, and so here it's great because you can play with all the nature that's outside the door, whether you want to lean into the jungle, you want to lean into the ocean colors, but it's always good to get back to kind of those earthy neutral colors. I also have to pay attention to the kind of building it is. And where the rental market is likely to be paying. Like, you don't want to overcapitalize on a property that's a $100 a night property. You don't want to go in and put your high-end furniture unless the owner's going to be staying there and that's what they want. But you've got to find the right point to make it, if it's an investment, to be spending the right amount of money, not too little, not too much, to make it comfortable. It's got to get good reviews, especially if you're on Airbnb.
Yes.
So you've got to hit those things that make people talk in their reviews. Oh, comfortable night's sleep, or I didn't like this. And so that's what I pay attention to. The things that get you the most bang for your review buck.
When you first walk into a blank apartment, whether it's brand spanking new or whether it's a renovation, what's the first thing you do?
When I walk into an empty apartment, I just draw a blank. I don't know how you do it.
Normally I'm like, ooh, especially when it's like a layout that I haven't dealt with before. Like, that's kind of exciting. But yeah, I guess when I'm getting into it, I go, okay, so basics of layout, like how much space am I going to have for this? I'm sort of estimating the spaces I've got to work with things. Is it a comfortable layout? There's some apartments that are big but weird layouts, and so they're awkward to work with sometimes, but others where it's like, oh, this is great. I'm not, I've got so much more choice in what I want to put in. So I guess when I go in there, I'm first looking at the layout, like, is it going to be easy to work with, or is it going to be a little bit of a challenge?
How do you balance quality with the durability especially because we're in a tropical climate.
Yeah.
So things like wood tables for an Airbnb, wood isn't going to be the first choice because someone might put their glass down without a coaster.
Yeah, so, but
No,
sometimes
someone
you find
will.
Someone will do it.
But sometimes, like if it's a wood table and I've put a thin glass layer, if like the table's stunning, we've got to have it. A thin glass layer will help protect it. There's certain materials that ideally I do try and stay away from, which is the cheap laminate stuff because that doesn't last in the humidity.
No.
Also, vinyl is not the best choice
hate
here.
vinyl. Yeah.
I mean, besides the fact that I don't love
from the
vinyl
60s.
anyway, but
Well, vinyl isn't breathable.
no. So even leather sofas here, like it's hot, it's sweaty. You don't like that feeling when you stand up.
I
It's
love leather.
like, you have the AC running 24/7. You know, like that's if you want to have leather, you do have to have the AC running. Otherwise, you're just it's just nasty. Plus, if you're at the beach, a lot of people they've got their sunscreens and their lotions, and they come in and they flop on the sofa, and they're going to actually damage the leather.
Yeah.
Which is a lot harder to deal with and more expensive to invest in than a fabric
You just coat
sofa.
everything, at the beach properties with that. Remember
Protect
that,
me.
that plastic?
Oh,
Like at grandma's
Like
house.
at grandma's house.
no, and I've started with some of the fabric sofas, like an impermeable spray. So it's like Scotch Guard, but I think it's even better where you can pour a liquid on it and it'll roll right off, but it doesn't make the fabric feel stiff and uncomfortable.
I have that on these chairs because someone has
I
spilled
have.
a few glasses of red wine
I have.
and you can't see it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've done tests where I sprayed it and I poured liquid like on there and it just runs right off. So for rentals, that's worth the investment.
So that way you can have fabric and durability.
Yeah, and I always, if I see something that's like removable cushion covers, that's always a great option for a rental as well. So you can take it off and wash the cushion covers. So there's things like that I'm always looking for. You try and avoid the stuff that look cheap. Like sometimes you can get a bargain and it's a great cost, but you just don't want it to look cheap.
That's right. What are some of the design issues that you see a lot when someone's done it themselves?
Is it gorilla statues?
Besides gorilla statues and floral wallpaper.
Besides those things, look, I think sometimes it's proportion. They go, I want this size sofa, and maybe they're buying furniture that's a little too big for the space, so it makes it feel quite cramped. Especially these days, a lot of the newer apartments, they are seeming to build them
Smaller.
on
That's
smaller
the trend.
footprints.
Smaller.
And I have to say, a smaller apartment might be a smaller square meterage, but it's actually more work. I've got to be a lot smarter about how I make the best
That makes
use
sense.
of that space. And it doesn't also mean that it's cheaper because you have less choices and you have to actually buy sometimes some pretty specific items to make it work.
Let's talk about sourcing.
Let's talk about
Let's talk about sourcing, baby. Let's talk about how you do it. What are some of your go-to furniture places for great finds?
Okay, I'm not going to give away all of my secrets
course
because
not.
then they'll get bought out. But for beach, I find Home Center, Life Urban are two of my favorites for the quality versus value versus style triangle. I can always find good pieces there. So then sometimes I mix and match in like with some of the decor places from like Arliss, Conway.
Which are less expensive.
Yeah, Conway is literally the Target of Panama, and Arliss is very similar. But for decor
And a step down.
yeah, I mean, there's some things that aren't. Like it's a real mixed bag. It really is a mixed bag. I spend a lot of time when it looks like I'm scrolling on my phone, but it's really work because I'm just staying up to date with like who has what new lines, what sales on. Like I hate paying retail. It hurts my soul to pay retail.
I can say Amanda loves a good deal.
Love me a bargain. So I'm always looking for, okay, who's got this discount, that discount, because I might be able to find something from one of the high-end stores and they're having a banging sale. And so I can get my client, like tomorrow I'm delivering an apartment and we did have a budget and I bought the most beautiful like TV buffet stand that was reduced from $1,700 down to $500 because it was the last one.
Yeah.
So that's like ding, ding, ding. So that's what I'm always on the lookout for. And there's a few outlet stores that, you can always go through and Sometimes when the containers come in, I'm over there and I'm just like, put it in the truck. I'll use it somewhere, put it in the truck.
Amanda, how do you handle the challenge of limited inventory and delivery challenges here in Panama?
I know exactly
That's your favorite part of the job, isn't it?
It is the thing that drives me insane.
This is your moneymaker, though. This is why you have the business that you have, is because you're able to manage all of those balls like a circus juggler.
Oh, I feel like a juggler. So I'm like, okay, that's not available. Pivot. Let's get this. Then we'll have to get that. That's how I feel some days. But I try and keep an eye on who's good with their inventory. A lot of people say, oh, well, can't they just order some more? No, not here, no. You say, well, when's that coming back in?
I don't know.
Maybe never. So I can't wait around for that. Special orders, especially if they're coming from Europe, overseas, they could be 6 months. They might tell me 4 months, which I'm already like, no. And it'll really take 6 months.
Right.
That's happened before.
Right.
So I really try and buy with what is available here now, or if I am going to ship things in on places like Wayfair and Amazon, where it is going to be more reliable on the delivery times.
What's the one design element that gives you the biggest bang for the buck?
I would say in recent times, a few years ago, they had the trend for the slatted wood.
Like under the counter?
Under the counter or as a design treatment. And I think it's dropped a lot in cost because it has gone a little bit from the designer trends where it filters down
to mainstream.
And I think that's often a nice way to just bring in a feature without spending a lot of money whatsoever. That and just simple things like changing out a backsplash in a kitchen doesn't have to be expensive, but it can make your place look unique, especially if the builder has used like a boring builder grade tile. So there's things like that which are not expensive that can really...
No, we had it done and I was surprised at what a difference it made.
Yeah, because especially when they've done a good job in making it's PVC, so it's durable, it's perfect for this climate, but they've done a good job in creating ones that they don't look like PVC, like they look like a nice quality finish. So that's one of my cheap tricks.
Amanda, I know that you design in all price points, from the very high end to the starter. But one thing you do differently is you are a lot more affordable than the typical interior designer by a lot.
Yeah, I think my service is a little different than the traditional interior decorator service here in Panama, where they've got big fancy offices and a team of architects and designers and people doing
CAD drawings.
And CAD drawings. So, I mean, I have brought someone on board to who can now do SketchUps and renders to be able to level up in that regards. But I'm not interested in having the big fancy offices, because the first thing I see when I see a service provider who has a spectacular office is, so that's what I'm paying
Dollar
for.
signs, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm paying for.
Ka-ching.
So I try and keep my overheads low in that regards to be able to keep my costs down. And I do also have a different methods of charging depending on the service that's being provided. I can start with a one-day shopping day, which starts at $500. You've got me for the day. I get you as many bargains as I can. And then you get to sit on things, try things, test them out for yourself, and then they get delivered. All the way to a full custom redesign where it would be charged on a different, by the size of the project and also a percentage on the budget. So depending on the services being provided, I do change the way that I charge. A furniture package will be a fixed all-in cost, which is why investors love that, because they want to know how much is this going to cost me.
Exactly. So you have an actual number for that
Correct.
floor plan.
The big difference between a furniture package and a custom package, with a furniture package, we'll do a consultation call to say, like, what do you like? And that's where you tell me you love floral wallpaper and giant gorillas. And we'll have a conversation about that. And if I still can't change your mind about those things, then, okay, so I do a scope of works where I said, look, this is the design vision that we're going for, the color scheme, if there's some preferences we work in, and then I go off and make that happen. But I'm not consulting with a furniture package on the individual items. So it's not like,
It's more like look and feel.
It's like,
Beach colors.
yeah, do you want a sectional or do you want a sofa and a love seat? Like, so we can get down to some details, but I'm not going to be sending, here's 3 sofas, which one do you want?
Yeah.
So for the fixed price package, there's not that higher level of consultation. But for someone who does, there's people who do want to approve everything, test everything, see it before they buy it, which is fine. But I charge that as a custom fee.
Of course. Do you have a before and after story that you can share with our listeners that perfectly encapsulates your affordable design approach to giving people more for a little bit less?
There've been a lot. I mean, there've been some apartments that have been, sometimes it's nice walking into a new build because everything is
Fresh
and new, and but sometimes you get the resales where it's a unique layout and you have a bit more flexibility. So they're older apartments sometimes, so sometimes they're a little bit of a more generous floor plan. And they're the ones where you can really, really they're the ones you can actually really make a huge before and after difference in the resales, where you've ripped up a floor and totally gutted a bathroom. And there's some where I've done that in new buildings, and it's kind of fun because people like having something different. So the resales, I think, are the ones where because it's different from the packages, I'm doing a lot of the same layout.
And one of the big differences in Panama, for example, from the United States, in the United States, if you go to a condo building, let's say,
This is so weird.
and you're going to buy something brand new, you're going to talk to the design team ahead of time, and you're going to pick your backsplash and your granite and your paint color. There are some
Not
things
here.
you can do to individualize it. Here, it's all pretty vanilla.
Yeah.
You get what you get. Everything's the same. So if you want to make it individualized, you basically redo it.
You have to rip the kitchen out
and
rip
redo
out.
it.
Yeah.
And thank goodness here it's significantly less expensive
Yes.
than it is
Like
in the US.
I can, in smaller apartments, I've done a replacement kitchen, like a far more functional kitchen, for around $7,000, which that's ripping out the old kitchen, changing the
Backsplash.
changing the backsplash,
cabinets.
moving around like electrical outlets to make them make sense. Like definitely a lot less than, what you would pay. I know in Australia what you would pay for even a simple kitchen renovation.
Right. And I think when people hear the word kitchen renovation, it like gives you creepy crawlies.
It does
because
me.
you just think it's so expensive. And the reality here,
But look, they can be like, how long's a piece of string? Like if you really you want the most fantastically designed kitchen with every special cabinetry piece that you can, like you can spend a lot of money. But I think even in this country, even if you went to town on one of the most expensive kitchens, you'll find, I think it's nowhere near what you'd look at paying in the US.
No. I was watching a video the other day and they're like, if you only have $100,000 to spend on your kitchen remodel, I
can do a whole apartment for that.
I spit out my tea. I was in the morning, I was drinking tea. I was like, you could get 3 kitchens for that here.
Yeah,
I like
I
that
could
she
do a
had
whole
to specify
apartment.
she was drinking tea because it was in the morning. Did you catch that?
Yeah, so that's, it definitely is a lot less expensive than North America, but the proviso on that is we do not have the wide range of materials available and also the labor skills. So, right now I'm in the process of doing a kitchen fit out with a client, and a lot of the design photos that he is sending me are of like beautiful millwork, which here most of the kitchens are actually made out of the melamine, the MDF,
Right.
because of the water resistance.
Right.
You can't do the same design features with that, or if you do, like it's a lot more work, it's a lot more material. And there's reasons here that they don't really work a lot in wood because of the humidity.
Right.
So that's been, I think, he's like, but I like this. And I'm like, if you want that, like, we'll have to find someone who can do a wood kitchen, which is a different provider, a different kettle of fish. So, so there's things like that people are used to having readily available in a renovation in the US and there's stuff that I see on Instagram that I go, oh, that's so fun. I would love to do that. Cannot find the materials here.
Right.
So what would be normally like a cheap little DIY weekend job becomes a whole order it in from overseas and wait. And so it's not worth it. So there is the downside to it being less expensive is that there are some limitations to what we have available.
And I do think that that's something not every investor or buyer understands is that you can't get everything here. Or if you're going to bring it in from somewhere else, whether it's the United States or Europe,
there's a cost to
There's
that
a
and a
cost.
wait and a wait.
A cost and
and
a
if it's an Airbnb, it's not worth waiting 3 months
Right.
for something that you could get here and not having it on the rental market just for that.
And I feel like at this table right now, you have 3 of the people who understand Airbnbs more than anywhere else in the world. So you have the person who decorates, the person who manages them, and then the person who used to manage them, who no longer does that. It's a whole different animal. Again, if you want to use it yourself, there is that balance between finding things that you like, finding sheet quality, mattress quality that make you happy, and also makes for a good rental and doesn't break the bank.
Exactly. And sometimes for clients who do that half and half, where they will stay in it some of the year for themselves and then for the rest of the year they rent it out, we'll always try and find a way to put in an owner's closet, like a lockable closet. So if they have personal bedding that they only want for themselves, they can lock that away. The renters have a nice quality, but maybe not the same quality as what they've got on their own bed. Like there's things like that we can build in, like functionality wise, to a condo.
And how many, if you look at the 100+ that you've done over the years, what's the split? Are most of the people, the majority of what you're doing, are most of them owner occupied to some extent?
At the very start, they were definitely more investor heavy with a good sprinkling of owners wanting to come and spend some time of the year there. But I will tell you that in the last year to 2 years, I've definitely noticed an increase of more people wanting to occupy their own unit.
That's right.
If not full time, at least half time.
Well, I think the amount of people moving here has increased.
I used to have a downtime. This would normally be my downtime.
We've been talking about this year.
I haven't had a downtime.
There was no downtime.
There's no low season for rentals. There's no low season for sales, and there's no low season for us to,
And we're not complaining. I'm just
No,
saying,
hashtag first world problems.
We've noticed that the influx of people moving here has definitely impacted us.
And there's also more people moving here who, like you said, it used to be you'd get an investor who would buy 3 or 5 or 12 properties and live in none of them. And now
I have clients who have never set foot in their apartment. It's been rented for the last 3 years and they've never come to see it.
That's right, for sure. But lately, the people who are investing in Panama are people who want to spend time here.
Yes.
They want to spend, and not just 2 weeks a year, but they want to spend 3 months, 6 months or more.
The funniest ones are when clients, the intention is to rent it out and then they see it and they're like, I don't know if I want to rent it out. I think I just want to use it myself.
Buying real estate in Panama isn't like buying back home. What you don't know can cost you. Before you search for properties online that might or might not be as advertised, go to choosepanama.com/contact and schedule a free 30-minute call. Our white glove service takes the stress out of buying abroad.
And then tomorrow I'm going to deliver an apartment to a lovely lady. So we're doing a HGTV reveal moment. So she hasn't seen the apartment. She doesn't know. She's about to walk into it. She has no, like, she had a design, like we had the consultation of what she wanted, but she hasn't seen it since furniture or anything's gone in. So we're going to do our own HGTV moment tomorrow.
Oh, I love that. You'll have to share part of that next time.
Yeah. So she's got someone there. There'll be photos and videos and all that things. That's a nice moment though. I did have someone like cry in a good way, like not in a bad way. In a good way when they walked in and saw the apartment. Like it was a husband and wife, and the husband had seen the property, but the wife hadn't. And then she walked in and cried, and that was a great moment for me. I love that she cried. I'm awful.
No, that's really special.
No, it was good. I do love that payoff when someone walks in and they love the place.
Yeah.
That's my reward.
Before we keep going, I was looking at my analytics the other day and I realized something shocking. Nearly 70% of you who watch our episodes haven't hit that subscribe button yet. If you've ever gotten a single good idea, design inspiration, or a laugh from
Or
the
we've
Real
just
Expats,
really annoyed you and you want to rage watch us.
But we would appreciate it if you could just do us the simplest favor. If you could tap that subscribe button right now, it doesn't cost you a thing and it helps us even more than you will ever know. So we can keep bringing you more insider tips straight from Panama's expat community. All right, back to Amanda and her design secrets. For this last portion, Amanda, we're going to have some rapid fire questions.
Hit me.
This won't be deep discussion. It's just going to be one word, one sentence, top of mind.
Okay, let me prepare.
What's your favorite tropical color palette right now?
Right now, I am dying to use the color Hidden Gem from Bear. It was their color of the year. It's this beautiful,
It is
deep
beautiful.
blue-green but neutral. So whoever's next up, you're probably getting that color in your property.
What's your go-to piece that makes any space feel high-end?
A really nice feature light over a dining table. Simple but effective.
What's one design trend you wish would go away?
Gray's ready to go.
Yeah,
Gray's
gray's
ready
on
to
its
go.
way out.
Gray's on its way out.
If gray's your favorite color, you'll have to come back in 10 years. What's the best design splurge you've ever made?
Ooh.
There've been some good ones.
Top 3.
Okay, so there was the dresser that was like 1,700.
Yes, that
down
was a good
to
one.
500. I bought a beautiful dining table that actually went somewhere in this building recently. That was about $1,800, and again, it was 70% off. So that was a nice discount. And okay, a third one.
Or a splurge that maybe you didn't get on sale.
It was just, you just couldn't pass it up.
You
It looked
just
too
couldn't
beautiful.
pass it up.
There was Too Beautiful, and it was just like a lot of money. There've been a few where I've gone, a beautiful piece of art that I bought for a client. He said, I want nice art. And I look after my clients' money like it's my own money.
We know you do.
Yeah. And there's certain things that I go, oh, that's so much money. But I'm like, oh, but it's so beautiful. And he's like, yeah, get it. And I'm like,
You're like, thank you, even though it's not yours. You're like, yes.
And this was, again, because it was for his house. So normally if it's for a rental, I'm not going to be putting expensive art in there. It needs
Right.
to be some nice color on a wall. But this was for his home. So I was like, that's beautiful.
Well, tell us what your number one rule is when decorating on a budget.
Never pay retail, always ask for a discount.
Yes.
I always ask. My mother is mortified. Like she's one of those people that says, oh, just I'm like, no,
It doesn't hurt to ask.
I will ask. I will always ask. And, now they know me enough now in most of the stores that I don't even have to ask, which is great. But I will still always ask.
And a lot of North Americans don't ask because it's culturally, it's not really
Yeah.
acceptable. But other cultures, it's normal.
Yeah, it's almost rude not to.
It's
Yes.
rude not to. It's part of the process.
I mean, not in my culture, but I do it anyway. So
I love how Amanda makes beautiful design feel doable. You don't need to import a container from Miami or spend 6 months waiting for deliveries. With her formula, smart sourcing, simple color schemes, tropical textures, and always asking for a discount, you can create a space that feels like you're on vacation every single day.
I tell you, what I love the most is how Amanda blends function with beauty, especially in a climate like we have here in Panama.
Where durability matters.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So whether you're decorating your first Panama condo or refreshing a rental, take Amanda's advice. Start with a plan, invest where it counts, and don't overthink it. And if you need some help, just contact Amanda. Thanks again to Amanda for sharing her affordable tropical design wisdom. And to all of you listening or watching, don't forget to share this episode with anyone who's curious about Panama. Until next time, cheers.
cheers. And Doug Gleeson, my dad, you better watch this one.
Oh my gosh.